What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with Alex Langer, CEO at Sierra Madre Gold and Silver. It's a pleasure to have you back on, Alex. It's been a while. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm really well, Aaron. Thanks so much for having me. Lots of news to share, but yeah, really happy to be chatting again.
For sure. So can you start by giving us an update on the company, telling us everything that you've been up to this past year? It's been a long time since we spoke. I'm excited to hear about the acquisition and more of the stocks back to trade. So let's hear all about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been busy. We announced just over a year ago the acquisition of the fully permitted 500 ton per day La Guitarra silver and gold mine, which is located about 120 kilometers from Mexico City, from First Majestic. So First Majestic is a multi-billion-dollar silver company, and we were able to get one of their mines from them for 35 million US dollars. Our technical team has quite a bit of history with the mine. They actually modernized the facility in 2003 and ran it all the way up until 2009. That merged with Silvermex, and then it was acquired by First Majestic. So we have a lot of history with the mine. We're quite comfortable with it, and we've been pretty excited pushing it forward. So we've been at site since about January, even though the acquisition closed about a month ago. So we've been pushing forward. We're doing a lot of work at the ground. We're looking at all the different machinery and facilities, and everything seems to be just in amazing shape. Again, First Majestic did an incredible job of care and maintenance. They had about 25 people on staff, whether they were geologists, underground mining engineers, environmental, everything like that. And we brought all those people in-house as well. So we kind of merged our two teams together, and I guess we kind of have the dream team and been pushing forward pretty aggressively since then.
Yeah, that's a large acquisition, and I'm glad it all came together. So what are your plans with this project?
Yeah, number one is to get back into production as soon as possible. Now, La Guitarra is a district. It is amazing. It's 39,000 hectares. We truly feel it is the largest undeveloped silver district in all of Mexico. So beyond this quick to production scenario, we have this amazing exploration opportunity. We think there's a lot of blue sky there. This used to be one of the 7 crowns of the Spanish jewel in terms of silver and gold production in Mexico. So plan for one for us is get to cash flows as soon as possible. We have a fully permitted and built mill. It's going to need minimal upgrades to it. It's really just simple maintenance stuff, conveyor belts, hoses, things like that. So the opportunity to get into production quickly, especially in this market, truly is unheard of. So over the next year, some big catalysts. The first one's going to be an updated NI 43-101 resource report. There's been over 236,000 meters of drilling at La Guitarra, and we're recompiling all that data. We're doing an audit of the ground to see what's been mined and what hasn't, even though there's been incredible records. And we'll be coming out with an updated NI 43-101 resource report, hopefully for year end. So the other catalyst that we're doing in conjunction with the 43-101 resource is an updated mine plan. Now, we want to make sure it's absolutely perfect when we start mining. So the basis of the NI 43-101 combined with the mine plan will allow us to start production and not stop. The market absolutely hates it if you start production and then stop. So we want to make sure everything we're doing is detailed and going in a proper sequential order. We want to start at about 350 tons per day. Even though the facility is rated for 500, it will eventually move to 500. And then eventually, if all goes well, even double that, if not up to 1,500 tons per day. So we have a clear opportunity here to build ounces on an annual basis as we grow the company.
That's exciting production potential. So let's talk about your recent financing. So the company announced the closing of a $10.3 million private placement of common shares and subscription receipts about a month ago. Can you tell us a bit more about this? What's your plan for that capital?
Yeah, absolutely. So we raised just over 10 million. 8 million came from institutions, which is great. Previously, we had a much smaller institutional shareholder. It was about 3 to 4%, and now we're above 11. Another million came from high net worth and a million from management. So that's myself, Greg, our chief operating officer, and as well as a few others. So really kept it tight. There's about 17 total investors in this last round. That capital, might be enough to get us back into production. We're not making any promises, but in this market, raising capital is quite difficult. We want to be pragmatic and being very careful with every penny that we put in. But if all goes well, we could have enough money to actually generate cash flows with the capital we have in the bank. So we would not need another dilutive financing. What's also incredible about this mine and the opportunity is we will be cash flow positive from month one. I don't know if there's any other businesses out there where you can say, month one of starting to, produce that you're cash flow positive.
Definitely. So, it's been an extremely tough market for small cap stocks. As we know, when it comes to funding, how's the balance sheet now that you've raised that 10 million, and what should investors be looking out for in this kind of market, more so in the small cap sector, the gold and silver exploration sector specifically?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. It's definitely the cash position. Companies, there's a cost benefit to moving things quickly along. If you're stale and you're not, putting drills in the ground or moving projects forward, the market doesn't love that as well. So you need to be constantly pushing forward. And to be able to do that, you need a decent sized treasury or access to capital. I think the other thing people always want to look at is management teams to make sure that they've done in the past. Fortunate enough to work with some really good people. Greg has had 7 projects become mines, which is absolutely incredible, including La Guitarra. So again, a big history there. So you always want to look at management teams that have a good track record, and also companies that have cash in the bank. And then finally, share structure. I think share structure is absolutely one of the most important things to look at. We're fortunate again. We have First Majestic as by far our largest shareholder. They own 47.7% of us. Management still owns over 21%, followed by retail. And again, as I mentioned, institutions just around 11. So share structure is probably the third thing I'd always look at.
So what would you say makes Sierra Madre unique compared to all the other companies in the exploration sector? What are the things you're most proud of? I guess you could say.
I think for one, it's obviously the management team with a great track record. I think that's always key. Second is the asset. Honestly, La Guitarra, something that could be cash flowing within the next, 18 months is truly impressive. CapEx is pretty much being taken care of. If you wanted to replicate the mill that's there, it'd probably cost you $60 to $80 million. Replicate, the underground probably costs you another 30 million. That's all US, not to mention the drilling and the equipment and the know-how and all the records we have. So I think that's what really sets us apart, is the ability to get into production and generate cash flow. And then I think the second one is the district size opportunity. Again, 39,000 hectares in a very prolific mining area in Mexico, in a great location. So we have a few great things going for us.
It really is a unique story. It's always exciting to see an exploration company go from exploration to production, and it sounds like you've got a great plan. So I'm excited to follow the story. We have been following you guys for quite some time, and we've already made some videos. So now let's talk about gold and silver. So recently we saw it run this year above 2,000, talking about gold specifically. Now things are cooling off a bit. Call it a technical pullback, call it a correction, whatever. But where do you feel like gold is going, let's say, for the rest of this year into the new year? How do you feel about the gold and silver markets right now?
Yeah, obviously I'm quite bullish. I think we're gonna see a really nice turnaround. We're seeing all the stuff still with the governments and the banks continuing to happen. Obviously, I feel gold is building a really nice base at these prices. I don't know when it's going to turn around. Maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 18 months. As a miner, I can't worry about that too much. What I know is when we, last summer, silver was around $18 an ounce, and now we're trading closer to 22, 23. So that's a really big delta. So we were thrilled at $18. We were delighted at 23. So again, you want to be on the lower end of cost curve with any of these, metals, whether it's gold, silver. If you're looking at, zinc, tin, copper, it really doesn't matter. As long as you're on the lower end, you're going to be okay. Again, that's why I think this opportunity is wonderful. We think we'll be in the low teens in terms of all-in sustaining costs to La Guitarra. So we have the ability to, I guess, if it does drop again, we'll still be cash flow positive. And if it ever does run, which I truly believe it will, we'll be able to capitalize on that market at the same time.
That's great. So finally, where's the best place for investors and prospective shareholders to find out more information? Where should they go if they're interested in the company?
Yeah, absolutely. Our website, which is sierramadregoldandsilver.com. We start to post quite a bit on Twitter. We have a decent following there. So yeah, through social media, but absolutely our website, and we're always available and happy to chat.
Great, Alex. Well, it was a pleasure to have you back. All those updates, I'm sure you're excited for this year and next year. So we'll definitely have to have you back on when you've got more for us.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks so much, Aaron. Cheers.
If you like these videos, kindly hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Drop us a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. And finally, always remember, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. Furthermore, this video may or may not have been sponsored by the companies that we've profiled within this video, and we may or may not own shares of any of the profiled companies in this video. If you want to know the full disclosure details, check the description down below along with thoroughly reading our disclaimer. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.